up, people? We're doing a little mini road vlog, Sam Sulik style here today. We're going to talk about the fights a little bit that have been announced and a little UFC 300. Sorry, I've been so busy lately, I can't really make videos like I want to. Like, this is a day off for me from work, so I'm going to kill it and make a video. But anyways, let's talk about UFC 300 first. Crazy event. Obviously, I did honestly really good on the card. I went 10-3. The one pick I got right that I was so happy to get was Max Holloway. And honestly, I didn't think he was gonna win. Like, early on in the process of the fight being made, I didn't think he was gonna win. But then over time, after I started watching the fights, I'm like, dude, Holloway's just got what it takes to beat him. Like, he's younger, he's faster, and a lot of people talk about that featherweight skill moving up to lightweight. It shows, right? It shows. And the thing, what made Gaethje so successful at 155 is the fact that he had power, and he also had, like, the speed advantage just wasn't a thing, right? The people that he was losing to were the best MMA fighters at lightweight. The best MMA fighters at lightweight. So we're not talking about, Max Holloway fighting an Arnold Allen, who I think is very good, right? Or a Justin Gaethje fighting a Fiziev, because Fiziev is not as good as Max Holloway. And he just ran into a guy who's just a better mixed martial artist. That begs the question, how far can Max Holloway go at 155? I think if he fights Dustin Poirier right now, I think he beats him. Honestly, I think he beats him. Max Holloway versus Arman Tsarukyan, that's a close fight. That's a close fight because we've seen Arman level up. And we could talk about Arman too, because people saying robbery in that fight just don't know MMA. He won round one, but then he lost the last two. And I hate to break it to you, but submission attempts, they may seem close, they may be almost a fight ender, but that can't just win you a round alone, right? Round one, that submission's a little different, right? When he's got it tight, you could see Arman almost going out. He was so deep in that guillotine, but close but no cigar on that one. And then in round three, he had the, what choke was it again? It was either Darce or Anaconda or some crap like that. I don't know. But anyways, it was close in round three too, but he got dominated in the grappling. And I guess Charles is just going to struggle against those guys that are going to be able to grapple like that, so the hell with it. But anyways, Max Holloway, that would be a close fight with him and Arman, honestly. I think, like, you got to think, Max Holloway is probably the best striker that Arman Tsarukyan has ever faced, ever. Like, literally ever. And Holloway be going up against a guy who's a Terminator on the ground, really. Like, Arman, people are saying, the split decision, like, say what you want about it, bro. He might as well be the second best grappler in that division. And to be the second best grappler in the lightweight division is honestly very good. Like, there's a lot of good grapplers at 155. You got Charles, you got Islam, you got Benny Dariush, you got Gamrot. There's a lot of guys in that division who've got really good grappling. And to say you're the second best, that's pretty good. So honestly, I don't know about that one. But if he runs into Islam Makhachev, Holloway, that is, I think he loses. I think everyone loses to Makhachev right now. I just think he's on a whole nother level. I don't think DP's going to beat him. I don't think Arman's going to beat him. I don't think Holloway's going to beat him. I don't think Poirier beats him. I don't think Edwards beats him. I mean, that's how good I think Islam Makhachev is. I think he's that good that he could beat every single person at 170, 155, and 145. You just got to think, right? If a 145er comes up and challenges Makhachev like we've seen Volkanovski do, we've already seen the best go at him. And they threw everything at him. You just can't defend the striking and the grappling with him. I think that's what makes him so dangerous. And, well, I guess we'll get into the Poirier fight. I think Poirier gets demolished. And Poirier is one of those fighters, right? Every time I pick him, He loses, and every single time I pick against him, he wins. But I think this is just one where it's logical to pick Islam, and it's just the right pick. Islam is the right pick. And first of all, DP does not Dustin Poirier. He does not deserve a title shot off beating Benoit Saint Denis on staph infection. Yes, I'm going to run with it because I'm still coping with that pick. I cannot believe it. I lost $20 in the process of that too. Fucking A. But anyways, yeah, I don't trust DP to go in there and beat Islam. You gotta think, if Volkanovski, right, a guy who was well-rounded, very well-rounded, if we're going skill by skill, Volk at that time and Islam were basically dead even. Except you'd probably give Islam a slight grappling advantage and Volkanovski a straight striking advantage. But nonetheless, you saw what Islam Makhachev did to Volkanovski in the second fight. On short notice, yes, knocked him out. Knocked him out. And in the first fight, his striking was amazing. So what makes you think Dustin Poirier, a guy with great boxing, is going to be able to outstrike Islam Makhachev, who at any point, can get a takedown on DP? And sorry to break it to you, DP fans, he ain't, like Benoit, he ain't falling for no guillotine. He ain't falling for no guillotine. So where does DP win? In the boxing. Well, guess what? Islam Makhachev's got some of the best striking defense in MMA. Regardless of who he's fought, he has really good striking defense. I think easily Makhachev gets him done out there in 2. I say probably submission in the second. I think first round, we might see DP do a little bit better than the second. But I still think Islam beats him in the first round. I think he submits him in the second round pretty easily. I'm so excited to see that fight regardless. I have really became a fan of Islam Makhachev. Like a real big fan. Not because I think he's the funniest. I think he is funny. I don't think he's the funniest guy. I don't think he's the most entertaining fighter, right? I don't think he's the most entertaining fighter. He's just so good. And we're watching potentially one of the greatest mixed martial artists to ever step foot in the octagon in Islam Makhachev. I think he's that good. I really do think he's that good. And that's why I like him so much. It's like, okay, if we're witnessing someone that good in the cage, like John Jones, like you almost kind of have to respect him for how good he actually is. And it's the same with all the greatest fighters of all time. I respect all of them, and I kind of like all of them in their own ways. You know, some less, some more, but I do respect and like Islam Makhachev. Will I be cheering for him in that fight? Honestly, no. I like DP a lot. And it'd be cool to see DP, you know, finally get that undisputed belt, but honestly, I just don't think it's going to happen. Another fight that was announced on that card was Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa, and I think you guys are going to be a little mad at this, but I honestly, if we're going off of a 5-rounder, people are automatically going to pick Strickland. But I could honestly see it go out either way. And what makes Paulo Costa close in this fight is those head kicks. You rewatch that Sean Strickland DDP fight, what gave him the most trouble was a guy who could press forward, and DDP landed so many head kicks that were so close. And I think if you're looking at head kickers between DDP and Paulo Costa, I think Paulo Costa's got way better head kicks, way better body kicks. Am I saying Paulo Costa's going to win? No, because it's a 5-rounder, and Sean Strickland's got some of the best boxing defense ever. And Paulo Costa, for some reason, can just not keep good cardio. Great power, not very good cardio. I think we can see a variation of outcomes in this. I could see Sean Strickland, from the moment the bell rings, on his ass and completely dominates Paulo Costa, which is very possible. Like, I don't doubt that's going to happen. Or we could see Paulo Costa go in there, be smart, almost like the Whittaker fight, but Whittaker's just a different breed, dude. Whittaker's just fucking unreal. Unless he's fighting DDP, which everyone has problems against DDP. DDP's a monster. I mean, honestly, you look at that middleweight division, who's gonna beat him? Honestly, I don't know. But what makes Costa effective in this matchup is those head kicks and that power. It was the same reason I picked DDP, and I think DDP is better than Paulo Costa. No shit. Like, he's a champion, and Paulo Costa is not. And he's just lost his last fight against Robert Whittaker, who DDP beat. And I know you can never do MMA math like that, but let's look at it from this perspective. If we're picking DDP to beat Sean Strickland because of the pressure and power style of DDP, then why not pick Paulo Costa? Well, why don't you pick Paulo Costa? Because of the cardio, man. The cardio and the endurance of his pace and how often he gets hit. I think it's Paulo Costa, when I was watching that Whittaker fight, fucker got hit a lot. Especially in that second round, dude. He was getting minced up. He was getting tagged with left and rights. Good combos from out the entirety of the fight, honestly. And he deserved to lose that fight. But if Costa can use those head kicks and be smart in that fight, I could see him getting it done by knockout. Like, let's not. Sean Strickland has very good boxing defense. His kicking defense is not that good, unless it's to the legs. Every once in a while, those head kicks will land on Sean Strickland, or get close to, right? The punches, that's a different story. Paulo Costa I think he is faster than DDP. I mean, you just watch him throw punches and he's faster. They're both freaks of nature. And where was I getting to? Oh yeah, the head strikes. The head strikes, the head kicks, that is Paulo Costa's like saving grace in this fight. If he can use those, he will win the fight. And if he can use them effectively, he can win the fight. If I had to go right now, don't make me pick this right now. Maybe, you know what? I'm going to save this to the week of the fight, honestly, because I've been going back and forth on that one. I really have been. And people will just give you the plain and simple Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland just going to wear on him. Paulo Costa's got power in 5 rounds, dude. Even though he gasses out, he still has power. The low output won't be effective for him. And maybe I'm just falling into the same trap I always fall into. It's like, okay, this guy with power over 5 rounds versus a guy who's got a great volume, but you know what? Fuck it. Nah, I'll leave it to fight week. I don't even want to give you an answer right now. But let's talk about the last bit of news that he gave at UFC 300. McGregor versus Chandler. Woohoo! The Mac is back, baby. That was a terrible. I usually have a way better McGregor accent, but I don't know what the fuck that was. But anyways, my boy McGregor's back. You always see him in the background of my... Well, he's on that poster. Sorry, that flag I have in the back. I love McGregor, dude. And honestly, I'm kind of a Chandler fan, too. Not so much a Chandler fan, a Chandler fight style fan, because he's just one of those guys that throws caution in the wind and just goes for it. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that in fighters, when fighters do that. In this fight, though, Conor McGregor, off 3 years from that broken leg. And let's not pretend like Michael Chandler hasn't been out fighting for 2 years, too. Like, where the fuck has he been? He hasn't fought since 2022, November 2022. And I know that's only a year and a half ago. Oh, shit. A year and a half ago. But you got to think about it this way. Michael Chandler is 38 years old. 38. And I know he's been training like a fucking bat out of hell. That guy is training like he's got some fucking demons in him. Got to get the demons out, but fucking A. Yeah, he trains like a madman. But anyways, if we're going off of who can win at their peak, I'm picking McGregor. Who can win right now? McGregor. I think McGregor can win, dude. And it's not so much, right, I'm like, oh, well, McGregor's just a better, like, yeah, whoa, fuck. I just completely fucked that up. I'm not cutting that out either. Jesus Christ. If McGregor is at his full power, if he's fully healed, if he's off the sauce, if he's off the coke, which we all know he's on, there's no secret now. I give him a really good chance, honestly. You got to think McGregor, he's still going to have that speed advantage. What does Chandler do so well in his fights? He pressures you forward and basically throws all of his strikes in round one and tries to basically get a knockout in round one. Who else does that? Well, Conor McGregor also does that. He also is very good in the first round. He is like literally known to being a first round fighter. Both of these guys are known for being first round fighters and having a tendency to either gas out or have low fight IQ as the fight goes on. So we're not probably going to see this go past the second round. So that's a good thing because we want fights to be ended like that. And for both of their sakes, I do not want to see this go 5 rounds. McGregor off the couch after 3 years and Chandler off the couch for 1.5, I don't want to see that. So who are you going with in a 2-rounder? Chandler or McGregor? You got to think about it like that. Don't go off of 5 rounds because we more than likely will not see this fight go 5 rounds. So who's going to win a 2-round fight? A crippled McGregor with really good striking, like really good striking. The leg kicks are going to be a problem. Versus a 38-year-old who's been training like a fucking bat out of hell. Basically, they both were coked out. And I'm not saying Chandler did coke, and I'm not saying McGregor did coke. But the way that Chandler trains, it's like he snorted a line and went to the fucking gym and the most explosive Bulgarian split squat to a sprint into like a power position fucking overhand, right? He's madman. But Chandler with meaty fucking big overhands, big thudding low kicks. His low kicks are overrated. I'm sorry, they're overrated. They're not going to have the same effect that DP had. They might be more powerful, but they won't have the same force, if that makes sense. Like DP can, like when Chandler's throwing a leg kick, he's just fucking whipping his leg into it. He's not trying to find a target. At least DP is trying to find a target. He doesn't have more impactful, like powerful kicks, but more precise, if that makes sense. And I've seen footage of McGregor since he's kind of been on this 3-year run, and it's been kind of wonky, right? He's hitting the big pad with the big gloves, and is that the best look? No. But who do I trust in a 2-round fight? Honestly, McGregor. And it makes no sense to pick McGregor at all. I swear, it doesn't make sense to pick him. But you got to think 2-rounder. Think about it in just a 2-rounder sense, and it'll make the fight more clear. Obviously, we could see Chandler go in there and just completely mop up McGregor, and it would make the most sense and be like, yep, that makes sense. And I get my pick wrong. And I'm fine with that. I'd be fine picking it wrong. But who's to say Michael Chandler hasn't aged like milk? Like, he's 38, dude. Let's not forget that he's 38. And I know McGregor's old too. But at least with McGregor, I know that he can beat high-level people. Can Chandler? He beat Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson. At one point, those guys were considered washed. He gets outclassed by Gaethje. He has low fight IQ against Oliveira. And he has another low IQ moment against Poirier, which he was winning that fight and forgot he had a brain. And yeah, just annoying. Even though I was cheering against him that fight, it was like, what are you doing? He's got some of the worst fight IQ I've ever seen in a fighter. So if we're going off of fight IQ, I know McGregor's got good fight IQ. He's been out of the octagon for so long, and that's what makes people nervous. And the fact that he's been doing a lot of other shit too, which we cannot ignore. We can't ignore that he's been doing all this shit. Steroids, allegedly. Coke, allegedly. You know, all that shit. It's not going to be helpful for your body. But McGregor, I think McGregor has got a chance. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to leave it off on. McGregor's got a chance. If McGregor gets a done round 1 knockout, the world's going to go bonkers. More bonkers than that Max Holloway knockout. And I posted on TikTok, If you guys don't know my TikTok, it's just basically the same handle as my YouTube. Check that out too. I do kind of post more on TikTok just because it's easier, right? I can spend 5 minutes to do that, not have to edit a video, post it. And I gave my thoughts on that. It was one of the best moments in UFC history. And it'll never be forgotten, really. And I'm excited I got to experience that. We had like 20 people over at my house, and a lot of those people picked Gaethje, man. It was nice knowing that the guy who knew more about MMA finally got this one right, because last time it was not good. And it was embarrassing. Imagine, okay, this is the last pay-per-view, $299. Imagine you're the only fucker in there that picked Chito Vera, which is not even a smart pick. Was not a smart pick at all. And you're the only one in there picking Chito, and everyone in there is a fucking Sugar Sean bandwagon, which they should. I don't blame them for it. I do like Sean O'Malley. And honestly, the right pick was Sean O'Malley. But imagine just sitting there, the guy with the most knowledge, and Sean O'Malley destroys Chito Vera. And you're sitting there, oh, Aaron, who'd you pick? Pick Chito. Fuck. You know, same with DP and Benoit, but I don't feel too bad about that one, honestly. That one should have been right, but nonetheless, if you guys like this video, like and subscribe. Comment down some video ideas I should do down below. And until next time, peace out.